Hey everyone, John here. Just want to do our daily post about how you doing. We are halfway through the week and we want to make sure things are getting kicked off right. We want to make sure that we're still on the road to success, as most of you are. I see what you're doing out there on this early Wednesday morning, and you guys are crushing it already. So keep after those goals. Have you had to realign your teams yet? Have you had to realign your priorities of work? That's kind of normal, especially around the middle of the week time frame. You're starting to see certain things that are slipping, so you got to reprioritize, or maybe your customer came out and had a new requirement or something changed, right? So it's just all about rearranging your priorities, putting things back to the backlog. For those of you who follow like the Scrum style mindset, work styles, so where's your backlog looking like? Have you adjusted priorities? Have you made new priorities? Have you had to shift the team a little bit to accommodate some of these changes? And that's fine, but you still, even with these changes, you should still be on the same road to the goals and milestones that you have set for the week, the month, the quarter, and the year. I mean, going into the end of the year, you should already be kind of home running that. Definitely, I hope you've already started your 2024 goals and milestones, because if you haven't, you're kind of now behind the power curve. So make sure you're getting on that. Make sure you have those set, because these goals, these weekly and the month of December goals, right? They're leading into that setup for the 2024 goals. So make sure it's happening. But I want to kind of address something today that sometimes creates a little controversy, sometimes it doesn't. Kind of depends on what's going on. But let's talk about leadership and the responsibilities of people who lead, right? And of course, individual responsibilities. Who is responsible for your overall success? If you said somebody other than you, you're wrong, because you are in charge of you and your success, your growth, your your ability to perform, to work, to do new things. That's up to you. You have to go out there. You have to get it. You have to learn those things. You have to adjust and hit those new milestones, right? You need to progress. You need to try challenging things. You need to go out and tackle those hard problems. If you stay in the status quo, you will not advance. You will get comfortable where you are, and you will always do the same things day in and day out. If you were a leader, who's in charge of growing your team on the individuals on your team? Yeah, that's you again. You're like, wait, hang on. You just said individuals are responsible for their own. They are. But you as a leader are also responsible for their growth as well. You should be helping them with that growth. You should be coaching them. You should be mentoring them. You should be guiding them. You should be giving them those opportunities to grow, to grab those new positions, those new areas of responsibility, right? That is on you as the leader to help facilitate that and create those opportunities for them. Now they also have their role to play in this, and they're responsible for jumping on those opportunities, taking those courses, getting that knowledge base and experience base. They have to still do the work, but you as the leader, you are ultimately responsible for how they grow. So when an organization is always complaining that there's no growth, there's no, it's stagnation city out there, the leaders don't support, that already tells you the kind of environment and culture you're working in. If leaders are not promoting growth, then you have a problem, right? And the common thing I'm seeing more and more, and you hear about it out there, maybe you've experienced it, is this very negative thing about your subordinates growing underneath you, because you have this fear of being overtaken by them, that they're going to take your job. Listen, that's kind of what you want, because you should already be looking at that next higher job. You should already be growing yourself and advancing yourself, that you're getting ready to take that next position. Yes, there are fewer jobs at the top, but people still retire, people still move out, head shed changes out. They're going to need people to get up there and grow, you know. And when you start getting up there in managerial and leadership positions, right? A lot of times there's two options that are available. Do we outsource new talent, or do we promote from within? And there's a lot of factors that play into that decision. And there's no right or wrong answer in that decision, because it's really dependent on the organization, the strategic goals, where they're trying to get to, and where they are currently, right? I can't say one way is better than the other, but more times than not, I'm going to champion for the internal growth more times than not. But again, there are extenuating circumstances in this. So, but it boils down to who's going to fulfill that role, who's ready to be that leader, and who's ready for that growth. If you have not been preparing for that next level, if you have not been doing those levels of responsibilities, you're going to fall into a common trap that I see a lot in this corporate world, and that's where people will be very good at their job right now, whatever position you're at right now, but because you haven't started doing that you haven't been being mentored to be a leader, you haven't been being coached and guided, and you're not taking that extra responsibility, and you're not trying those new things, you're not doing, advancing yourself, you may end up in that leadership position through an internal promotion. And if you're not ready, you're going to bomb at it, right? There's going to be a lot of hard lessons learned at that point. And, it could create some strife. It could demoralize you. I mean, it could hurt. It's going to be very painful, especially if you weren't kind of coached and mentored and been preparing for that level. So, leaders, you need to be preparing your people to eventually take your job or do equal responsibilities. Another thing that happens is maybe you got some stellar performers. They may go to another department. It happens, right? But are they ready? Are they ready for those challenges? Are they ready for that role and the new dynamic it brings, right? So just make sure you're not failing your people. Make sure you're not failing yourself, right? Just like your organizational goals and your department goals and all that, you have individualistic goals that you should be going after as well. Advancing yourself, learning those cool things. So definitely want to hear your guys' perspective on the leadership dynamic and how growth happens both as an organization, as a team, and individually, right? Collectively, how are we growing together? And individually, how are we growing, right? I'd love to hear your strategies. Love to hear what you guys are doing. I'd love to give you my perspective on these things. Let's talk about it. Let's get this discussion going. But, you know, I'm a strong advocate that if you are a leader and you are not helping establish those opportunities for those in your care and your charge to grow and to experience things, then you are failing them as a leader. And hopefully you're not working in a toxic environment. Hopefully you're not a toxic leader who's micromanaging and demoralizing the team, because that would be even worse. But definitely would love to hear your feedback. Definitely want to see what perspectives you guys got out there. If you're in certain industries, I want to hear how the industry looks, like what's going on in your industry that maybe not be centric to other industries, or maybe where's the commonalities lies. Maybe if every industry is having the same issues, we tackle this together, we go after it, and we make improvements. All right, guys. Well, keep up the great work out there. Keep on crushing it, hitting your goals and milestones. 2024 is around the corner, and you better be ready for it. I know most of you are. So, hey, I'm always here if you need me. Let's strike up this conversation. Let's get it going, and appreciate you guys, and stay good.